as Unlock 1. Lockdown 4.0 will be over on the 30th of June. From the 1st of June, Unlock 1 will come into effect. Arun, please carry on.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, that now the government is clear that we are now reopening. So it's lockdown 4.0 was last. It's unlock 1.0. We can say that in manner. So just to simplify for it, for our viewers, what exactly happens in the month of June. So from June 8th, people who are outside the containment zone, let me repeat it once again, people who are outside the containment zone, in those places, primarily places of worships will be open. Shopping malls, this was something which most of people were expecting. There were many shopping malls, they were preparing themselves. So yes, shopping malls will also open as far as the lockdown unlock 1.0 is concerned. That means from 8th of June, the shopping malls will open, restaurant, hotels, and yes, anything that is related to hospitality, that will open from 8th of June. So that's the big takeaway of Unlock 1.0. So that's a big takeaway. That's what happens. I mean, that's the big takeaway, because shopping malls are opening. Yes, marketplaces were opened in the lockdown 4.0 in various states. That was depending upon the state. But yes, the shopping malls, restaurant, hotels, and hospitality sector opens from 8th of June. So that's an important day. So what happens in phase 2 or the stage 2? In phase 2, people are worried about that what exactly happens to schools and colleges. So yes, schools, colleges, educational institutions, and various other institutions that are related to education. So all these things, I mean, that will be opened only after the consultation with the government, education stakeholders, parents primarily. So what is their stake? Now this decision will be taken in the month of July. So that's an important part. That means in June, the educational institutions, schools and colleges that are not going to...
So schools, colleges, educational institutions, training, coaching institutions will remain shut in June. The decision to reopen them will be taken in July, and that will be done in consultation with the state government, with the UTs, or who will further consult the stakeholders like the parents who are sending their wards to the schools and colleges. So a decision on that will be taken in July. So for at least June, they remain shut. That's right, Arun?
That's the second big takeaway, Amrit, that school, colleges, educational institution shall remain closed in the entire month of June. So yes, just to recall once again, that in phase 1, that is from June 8th, primarily the shopping malls, various hospitality sector, hotels, restaurants, they open from 8th of June. That means you can go to hotels, you can go to shopping malls, you can go over there. But yes, the school, colleges, education institutions are shut till June, and of course any decision on this will be taken only in the consultation with these various stakeholders like parents, students, the schools, and various state and the UT will in the consultation will take the decision. So that's a big takeaway, that no schools and colleges and education institution in the month of June. Third big takeaway, there were various people who were expecting that what happens to the transportation. So let's come on the transportation part. So
yes.
The government taken a big decision that no international travel as far as this Unlock 1.0 is concerned. That means as of now, I mean, yes, in future it can be amended also, but today in Unlock 1, the government says, the Home Ministry says that no international travel, no metro travel. That's what the government says. Cinema halls, you can go to the shopping malls, but no cinema halls will be opened in that shopping malls or any kind of mall. So that means for watching movies in cinema halls, you have to wait. So no movies or no cinema halls or no entertainment places will be opened as far as Unlock 1.0 is concerned. And academic, cultural, social, political, sports, all these functions in large congregation, this shall not be allowed. I repeat it once again, theaters, gymnasiums, swimming pool, entertainment parks. So primarily anything related to entertainment, sports, whereby any kind of gathering is taking place. So that is not at all allowed over here. That means no international travel, no metro travel, no watching movies. That means no cinemas, no entertainment in Unlock 1.0. But yes, Amrit, over here, there is one big takeaway, and that is related to interstate and intrastate movement. As of now, what we are seeing that various borders are being sealed. You need e-passes when you transfer, when you come from one state to another. For example, from Gurgaon to Delhi, from Noida to Delhi, or Delhi to Ghaziabad. So yes, there were various local authorities. They were saying that e-pass is required. So now center says that. I repeat it once again, Amrit. Center says that there is no restriction, no prohibition as far as interstate or intrastate travel is concerned. But there's a big but over there, and now it says that if in case a local authority or a state feels that, looking at the number of cases of COVID, if they feel that there is a requirement to have some kind of restriction, they are free to do that. But as of now, center says that all across the country, interstate and intrastate movement. So that will be taking place going forward. One more important part, Amrit, this is very much important for our viewers to understand, that night curfew. Till now, the night curfew was there from 7 to 7. That means 7 in the evening to 7 in the morning. So now a relaxation has been given in the night curfew. That means for any kind of non-essential travel or non-essential requirement, the night curfew primarily starts from 9 p.m. in the night, and primarily it stays till 5 a.m. in the morning, 5 a.m. in the morning. So yes, that's a very much a decent opening of Unlock 1.0. That means for any kind of non-essential travel, if you try to travel during the night, it has to be essential. That means in case of hospital, is urgency, you can travel in the night, but for any kind of non-essential, yes, 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. That's the curfew time. Before that, you can travel going forward. So
all
yes,
right, Arun, I'll request you to stay on. My colleague Sudhakar Das also joins us for more on that. Sudhakar, a quick recap. The government has issued guidelines for Unlock 1, which come into effect from the 1st of June. That's day after, and remain into effect till the 30th of June for the next 1 month. Phase 1 of this says religious places, that's the places of worship, hotels, restaurants, and other hospitality services, including shopping malls, will be permitted to open from the 8th of June. The Health Ministry will give SOPs for this, and they have to be ensured. Phase 2 says that the decision to open schools, colleges and other educational institutions will be only taken in phase 2 in July. So in June they remain shut. Limited number of activities will remain prohibited throughout the country. No decision has been taken on them. This decision will be taken in phase 3. What are these? These are international travel. International travel remains prohibited. Metro travel remains prohibited. Metro trains across the country will not run. Cinema halls will remain shut. Gymnasiums, swimming pools, entertainment parks, theatres, bars, auditoriums, assembly halls, political, social rallies, academic, cultural, religious functions which have large congregations are still prohibited. Their decision on the opening of that will be based on an assessment of the situation in phase 3. The lockdown shall remain implemented strictly in containment zones. These will be demarcated by the states and the union territories, taking into account the guidelines issued by the Health Ministry, but activities that we mentioned, that the government's guidelines say will open up, will not open in containment zones. The states and the UTs decides what these containment zones are. Unrestricted movement will happen between states. However, the state governments can take a decision on movement, but night curfew from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. will remain into effect. Sudhakar, this is what I understand. What more would you want to add to? What are the salient features or the main points of the new guidelines issued by the MHA that have come in for the Unlock 1?
जी बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है अमृत, अगर आप मेरा चेहरा भी देख पा रहे हो अगर लाइव, तो बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है ये सारा गाइडलाइंस। और जो एक तरह से आपने पूरा रिकैप किया, उसको सीधे तरीके से अगर समझा जाए तो कंटेनमेंट जोन को छोड़ सकते हैं आप सीधे तौर पर। कंटेनमेंट जोन में अभी भी एक्टिविटीज वो रेस्ट्रिक्टेड रहेंगी। दूसरा, जहां तक सिनेमा हॉल्स की बात है, थिएटर बार्स की बात है, जिम्नेजियम की बात है, स्विमिंग पूल्स की बात है, इंटरनेशनल ट्रैवल, उस पर अभी भी रिस्ट्रिक्शन रहेगा। ये साफ तौर पर क्लियर कर दिया गया। लेकिन इसके अलावा जो तमाम चीजें हैं, बिल्कुल सभी चीजों की बात की जा सकती है अमृत, वो सभी चीजें खुल जाएंगी। लेकिन निश्चित तौर पर जो 3 फेजेस वो आपने जानकारी दी, फेजेस में खुलने की बात है। धार्मिक स्थलों की जानकारी दी आपने 8 तारीख से, उसके साथ होटल रेस्टोरेंट्स की बात की आपने। इसके अलावा जो दूसरा जो स्कूल कॉलेजेस एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस की बात है, वो जुलाई से खुलने की बात है और निश्चित तौर पर स्टेट्स जो है अन्य चीजों को ध्यान में रखते हुए इसके बारे में फैसला करेंगे। तो काफी महत्वपूर्ण ये फैसला है। और तीसरा फेज ये जो बाकी चीजें जिनके लिए 30 जून तक पाबंदी लगाई गई है वो उसके बाद उसको खोलने को लेकर फैसला होगा। लेकिन ये साफ संकेत है कि उनको भी 30 जून के बाद खोलने की अनुमति मिल सकती है। ये सीधा और साफ संकेत है। और यानी कि अनलॉक वन सही रूप में एक तरह से पूरे देश को अनलॉक करने के लिए बड़ा फैसला लिया गया। लेकिन अमृत, इससे ज्यादा और बड़ा महत्वपूर्ण फैसला ये है जो रिस्ट्रिक्शंस थी मूवमेंट को लेकर, खास तौर से इंटर स्टेट मूवमेंट या इंट्रा स्टेट मूवमेंट, उन रिस्ट्रिक्शंस को पूरी तरह से हटा लिया गया है। ये बहुत बड़ा और बहुत महत्वपूर्ण फैसला है। इसके लिए अलग से किसी तरह के परमिट, किसी तरह के परमिशन की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी। ये काफी महत्वपूर्ण है। और ये साथ में कहा गया है कि अगर राज्यों को लगता है कि पब्लिक हेल्थ के चलते कुछ रेस्ट्रिक्शंस इंपोज करने की जरूरत है, तो उसके लिए एक तरह से वाइड पब्लिसिटी दी जाएगी, एडवांस में इंटीमेशन देना पड़ेगा, इंफॉर्मेशन देना पड़ेगा। तो ये एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण संदेश दिया गया है केंद्र सरकार की तरफ से। दूसरा, नाइट कर्फ्यू की जहां तक बात है, हमको आपको याद होगा अमृत, ये पहले 12 घंटे के लिए था, सवेरे शाम में 7 बजे से सवेरे 7 बजे तक के लिए। लेकिन अब उसको कम कर दिया गया है, उसको सिर्फ 8 घंटे के लिए कर दिया गया है, रात 9 बजे से सवेरे 5 बजे तक। तो ये भी काफी महत्वपूर्ण फैसला है। देर तक ऑफिसेस या फिर फैक्ट्रीज, ये तमाम चीजें वहां काम हो सकेगा। ये इस बात को ध्यान में रखते हुए ये फैसला किया गया। कोविड पर सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग के, हाइजीन के, सैनिटेशन के वो जो नॉर्म्स है उसको फॉलो करना पड़ेगा, उसको मानना पड़ेगा। आरोग्य सेतु ऐप को लेकर लिखा गया है कि जो अथॉरिटीज हैं, जो लोग हैं, अधिकारी हैं,
एडवाइस किया जाता है,
प्रमोट करेंगे। जी अमृत, आप कुछ कह रहे थे?
जी, एडवाइस किया जाता है। अच्छा चलिए सुधाकर, एक बात मैं आपसे समझना चाहूंगा। ये मेरे सामने गाइडलाइंस हैं, यहाँ पर जैसे आपने बताया कि फेज्ड रीओपनिंग होगी। ये पहला फेज जो है वो 1 जून से लेकर 30 जून तक रहेगा, जहां होटल्स, रेस्टोरेंट्स, टेम्पल्स, मस्जिद, गुरुद्वारा, प्लेसेस ऑफ वर्शिप, चर्चेस सब खुल जाएंगे 8 जून के बाद। हालांकि उसमें सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग मेंटेन करनी पड़ेगी। फेज 2 में स्कूलों और कॉलेजों पर फैसला लिया जाएगा, वो जुलाई में फैसला लिया जाएगा। तो हम ये कह सकते हैं कि फेज 2 जुलाई में। और ये जो गाइडलाइंस हैं वो ये कहती हैं कि अभी इंटरनेशनल ट्रैवल और मेट्रो रेल, सिनेमा हॉल वगैरह बंद रहेंगे। फेज 3 में ये डिसाइड किया जाएगा कि इनकी ओपनिंग कब करनी है। तो क्या ये हम कैन वी सेफली से कि अगस्त टिल अगस्त इंटरनेशनल एयर ट्रैवल, मेट्रो रेल, सिनेमा हॉल्स, जिम्नेजियम्स ये तो बंद रहेंगे?
देखिए अमृत, एक चीज कही जा सकती है, इंटरनेशनल ट्रैवल की जहां तक बात है तो हमको पता है कि कई देशों में अभी रिस्ट्रिक्शंस है ट्रैवलिंग को लेकर। स्पेशल परमिशन के साथ हमारा जो वंदे भारत अभियान है वो चलाया जा रहा है। तो उसके लिए भी देखना पड़ेगा कि बाकी देशों में किस तरह से इसकी ओपनिंग होती है और उसके मद्देनजर इस पर कोई फैसला हो सकता है। लेकिन निश्चित तौर पर रेल की जहां तक बात है, सिनेमा हॉल्स, और उसमें ये देखिए स्विमिंग पूल हो या जिम्नेजियम हो, सिनेमा हॉल जरूर खासी संख्या में देश में है, लेकिन स्विमिंग पूल या जिम्नेजियम, इस तरह की चीजें अभी भी उस तरह से है। तो उसको तरह से आप कह सकते हैं, या इंटरटेनमेंट पार्क की बात हो, तो ये बड़े शहरों में कुछ जगहों तक आप कह सकते हैं कि ये है। लेकिन निश्चित तौर पर सिनेमा हॉल्स की जहां तक बात है, अभी जून तक के हमको लगता है कि जुलाई में इसको लेकर कोई फैसला हो सकता है, जुलाई के आखिर में या अगस्त से अगर खोलने की बात हो। लेकिन निश्चित तौर पर
Okay. Sudhakar, we seem to have lost the connection with you. Let's go over to my colleague Shishir Shelar, who joins us now from Mumbai. Okay, but let's go over. Sorry, I'm told Shishir Sinha, senior journalist, economic journalist, now joins us. Shishir, I thought my producer is telling me in the air that our colleague is joining from Mumbai. Shishir, now clearly for Unlock 1, the focus is on reopening activities that were earlier prohibited, and the focus is clearly an economic focus. Would you say that?
Yeah, I mean, if you take that, the restrictions are only in the containment zone. Beyond the containment zone, we have a situation where most of the economic activities are now open. And from 8th of the June, when the restaurants and malls will start functioning, that will give another boost to the economic activities. Apart from that, all the relaxations given during the fourth phase of lockdown between 17th May and 31st May, they all are continuing. And another, I mean, you can say that is one thing which everybody was expecting, that the opening of religious places. I think this is another economic activities. I mean, if you take any religious place, they provide a lot of economic activities in terms of number of shops will be there who are selling prasad and various kind of things. So it's a different kind of economic activity, but of course it's going to give some kind of boost to that. The only concern we have at this moment is not the reopening of metro rail, because at this moment the transportation facility is not providing the kind of movement which we should get, and that is creating a lot of trouble, especially in the movement of labor. Take the example of NCR. If somebody is coming from Bahadurgarh in Haryana and going to work in the that's a mobile handset belt in Greater Noida, it's not easy. And especially when you have a lot of restrictions at the various border, when you talk about Haryana Delhi border and then Delhi UP border. So we need to have some kind of, early reopening of metro. Of course, you have said that there will be no restriction on interstate movement. But if a state thinks that there is some problem on a health ground, then it can have some kind of restriction there. I think that is also going to create some kind of problem in the interstate movement.
Also, the decision not to open up international flights could also have an economic effect, because, you know, you're trading with a lot of countries, the movement of people working, say, in these companies, and international movement, though that is not just specific to India. I mean, international travel around the world is so restricted right now. Only essential travel or evacuations or repatriations are taking place. But as you said, I'm bringing up this point because you said that, like, in movement in metro is going to affect, say, attendance in offices or people going to work, at least in places in metropolises like Delhi, Bangalore, or places where metro is already operational.
Certainly, and I think the good thing is that when you are saying that hotel will start functioning from 8th of the June, that is also going to help movement, because nowadays when you are talking about business activities taking place in say in major metros like Mumbai, Chennai, Ahmedabad, Hyderabad, Bangalore, or any other places, the people who are going to do the business, I mean, the one thing they will expect some kind of, if they are going to stay for a, say, even for a day, they need some kind of accommodation, and hotel reopening of hotel is also a good thing. And please remember that hotels are also a good source of employment, because so many direct and indirect employment opportunities are available there.
True.
Now, when you're talking about the international travel, it doesn't depend just on us. I mean, we are not the only one who can say that, okay, we are opening our international thing. It also depends upon the countries where the flights are to be operated, whether that particular country is ready or not. Take the example of Singapore. Singapore is a city-state, and it's a city-state country, I would say, but still they haven't permitted so many international operations. There are just the transit one, but not the full-fledged international operation. So same story with the various Southeast Asian countries, the popular destinations for Indian and also, of course, to Europe and America. Europe, I believe that some of the countries have started some kind of operation, but that's in very, very limited manner. So in terms of international operation, we will have to wait for what the response of other countries, and then accordingly we can take a decision on that.
All right. So clearly, Shishir, with the opening up of shops, malls, in a phased manner from June, opening up of the places of worship with goods and people's movement, interstate movement being allowed freely, and all these things that I mentioned are opening up are outside the containment zones. It will give a boost to the economy, which had come to a sort of standstill or a great, the economic activity activity had come to a great slowdown because of the direct impact of the lockdown.
But just wait for one thing, because so many places in all the major 6 metros, whether we talk about Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, or Havra, or in Hyderabad, or in Bangalore, or in Chennai, most of the areas in these places are within the containment zone. So even the movement you have started between interstate and intrastate, the problem is that the hub of economic activities are still in the containment zone. Of course, we are seeing some kind of, you can say, recovery percentages is going up in all the places. But still, we need to remember this fact that most of the containment zones are in the major economic places, major economic hub. And that is going to create some kind of, some kind of hindrance in terms of restarting the economy.
Do you think, Shishir, it will start a trend of reverse movement, the migrant movement that we're seeing right now in the country, especially with people moving back to Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, because from big cities where they were working like Mumbai, Delhi, shops were shut, malls were shut, the factories were shut, they were losing their jobs. They were saying they didn't know how to pay their rents, they were not getting income. They thought, let's go back to our villages. Now with this unlocking of the lockdown, with opening up, there could be a reverse movement which could start, which could kick off? Or is it too early to say that?
But it is already started. I mean, I can give you example of Telangana. Telangana, there was a train coming from Katihar in Bihar, and some rice mill owners in Telangana, they thought that they talked to people there, and we saw laborers are returning from Katihar to Telangana. The other example is that from June 1, when we have 200 trains which are going to start, we are seeing a lot of booking on from the eastern UP to various parts of the country, say especially for Maharashtra and for Gujarat. So the movement has already begun. People are interested, because see, the problem is that you cannot create job overnight. When people have gone back to their place, and if they have spent, say, a month or so, or the 15 days, after that they are realizing that their life is not that easy. In fact, it is much more difficult, because the job is not there, any kind of source of earning is not there. So whatsoever opportunity they are getting, and I can tell you that some of the states, I mean, I heard about Gujarat, one salt pan company, it has offered a double salary and 14 days paid quarantine facility to all the laborers who are coming back to Gujarat. So if these kind of facilities are being offered, and if we find some kind of easy, a kind of convenience in traveling from one place to other place, I believe there will be a reverse kind of thing what we have seen. And you can also say that some of the Shramik special, they are not getting the kind of passengers which they used to get 5 days back or 10 days back. So things have started changing, and now we will see more and more movement. Of course, it will not happen overnight. It will take some time, but something has started already.
Okay. Shishir, another key concern, especially for parents, for students, who are studying, that they're losing time. It's been 3 months, they're sitting at home, though some online classes are going on, but academic syllabuses have been curtailed, they're losing studying time. So no decision has been taken on that. The new guidelines say that in phase 2, based on, it says schools, colleges, educational institutions, training, coaching institutions will be opened after consultation with states and union territories. The state governments and union administrations are being advised to hold consultations at institution level with parents and other stakeholders. Based on that feedback, a decision on reopening of these institutions will be taken in the month of July 2020. So basically, June, schools, colleges are not opening. July, the government will see whether what the district administration, what the state administrations, what the stakeholders say. So that is still an area which there is no clarity on, but obviously there is a huge concern. How do you control children if infection spreads in a school?
There are two aspects to that. See, when your kid or when your son or daughter is in, say, first year or second year or in the preliminary schools, there is not a problem. Most of the states have already announced. We have seen summer vacation in most of this state. Even in, say, in Delhi, we have just got the information that from June 1 there will be summer vacation, and we can think about the reopening of the school only in the month of July. So that is not the issue for the people or the students who are in the preliminary classes or in the first year or second year of college. The real challenge is for the students who are in the final year of college or institution, because for them it's a choice, it's a question of career. I mean, you must have heard that many of the company who offered a job during the campus placement in the month of February or March, they are not very sure that whether they are going to give that. Other thing is that when we do not have a final examination or delay in the examination, then the career progression after the month of July or August, that will be a really challenging thing. And also those who are willing to opt for some other curriculums, they will also have to think about that. So we have to think about the students who are in the final year. They are in the real problem. They are not getting the answer that what will happen for them. Some of the institutions have announced that they will conduct online examination. It is not so easy. I mean, online examination for competitive purpose, I mean, it's in a closed environment. You can do that. We call it as a sandbox environment. You can do that. But in colleges for final year examination, conducting online, especially for the people who are living in, say, tier 2 cities or tier 3 cities, or in the villages who have gone back to villages also, how they will appear in that examination because of the, you must be, you can think about the infrastructure constraint and all those things. So I think when you are talking about the schools and colleges, we have to think about that what will happen to the final year, or who are on the verge of going out from their school, or who are going out from the colleges or university.
Yeah, so basically now, at least for now, it is decided that the guidelines say that a decision on the schools, colleges, educational institutions will be taken only in July. All right, we are now joined by Proful Kulkarni. Let's go across to Proful Kulkarni. Proful, we were talking to Shishir Sinha a little while back, and Shishir was saying clearly this will give a boost to economic activities, the phased reopening during Unlock 1, and because it allows the movement, free movement of people, goods between the interstate movement, which was till now at least regulated, if not completely stopped by e-passes or movement passes. But now that has opened, now they'll allow opening up of malls, from religious places, hospitality services, restaurants, hotels. So people go out, eat out, start spending money. So the economy in general picks up, and so clearly the focus is to get the economy back on track, give a stimulus to the economy so that it starts running how it runs in normal circumstances.
Absolutely. See, if you see the the notification in detail and the way the phases are chalked out, it is clearly maintaining the fact that certain activities where naturally people come in groups like school, colleges, or training centers, or even coaching institutions. There it will go in the second phase, and therefore it will be left to the respective states. So it will be more a decentralized decision depending on the situation. As of now, we know that 70% of the infections are in 13 cities. So they are the real centers of worry. But as far as religious places are concerned, hotels and restaurants are concerned, other hospitality or shopping malls, they will be open. But interestingly, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare will be releasing a supporting standard operating procedure SOP for all the above activities. And all these things are going to start immediately, but 8 June perhaps is the date from which this particular thing will come into effect. So we still have 8 days to manage and work out on these SOPs. So on the one hand, we want to open up. So it is, as you said rightly, it is exit plan from the lockdown in a way, but it should be seen just as unlocking 1.0.
So you're saying it's basically a phased exit from the lockdown which came into effect from the end of March?
Absolutely. Absolutely.